Hey YouTube, coming at you with my second team, and as I mentioned this morning, I went against a couple Gyarados, and I'm like, ooh, this Pokemon is actually quite tough. That Dragon Breath damage really does add up as the Shadow and those Aqua Tails come very quick and do chip. Obviously, you need some shields with it. Uh, Biggest issue is going to be Electric. You're double weak to Electric. So, I started with RUNERIGUS because I knew it's a good safe swap, and it is a ground, which will resist the Electric. And then I was looking for a third Pokemon, and then I'm like, do I want to use RUNERIGUS as the safe swap, or do I want to use it as like the counterbalance Pokemon? I'm like, what else is a good safe swap? But I mentioned Spiritomb, so I put both of them in. This does make you pretty vulnerable to Dark in the back. You can work around some. Could you just have the Rock Tomb on both? Team worked well, got me some Elo back up to the 2500 range. Terrible lead against the Dene. RUNERIGUS in here. And I like RUNERIGUS more as a safe swap just because of the counts, right? You can bait Brutal Swing at 10 and 8. You have the Rock Tombs at 14 and 12 as opposed to Spirit Tomb, which is a 16 and 14, and then trade 16 for the Shadow Balls, right? So, yes, Sucker Punch. Shadow Claw is also such a good move. Yes, Sucker Punch is a fantastic move, but I just like RUNERIGUS as a better safe swap when I can. And because you do spam at this crazy pace, I am able to get to 2 Rock Tombs already, take a fly because they are 2 times lowered, and now because that Incinerate doesn't do enough, I get off the 3rd Rock Tomb. So took the Dedenne lead out there. Not that Spirit Tomb has an amazing matchup. It is a Dark, and it has Sucker Punch, which is resisted. Do have Shadow Ball. I can take a Paraball Charge here, but that does do like 50%. So if they get to another move, I would have had to potentially shield. They do catch on a Toedscruel, which is okay. This will still do good chip. And out comes Gyarados. Obviously, I need to save the shield for the Paraball Charge. So we'll just let this go. But the Dragon Breaths are going to add up because the Shadow Gyarados is pretty attack heavy. And that will allow me to come out with 2 moves. And that is more than enough with the shield advantage to take out the Dedenne here. So here comes the first one. I'm pretty sure we CMP tie on this one. And I will use that shield and then just go back to back to take this out. So getting out of a tough lead there. If you're going to use both Spirit Tomb and RUNERIGUS, it does involve some jumping around. You're going to see a lot of jumping around here. You know, I like the Gyarados RUNERIGUS core. Maybe if you want a different third. Corviknight lead, it is a steel, so I don't love steel against a Dragon Breath user, so I'm going to swap. I mean, it does have sand attacks, so I could have stayed in because they would have been resisted too. But don't really want to play the bait game with a Pokemon that can bait in 9 as well with the Air Cutters. I do show up a potential payback on my Ghost Pokemon, only to be met with an Air Cutter, which means they are almost certainly going to go payback next time because you know, grab that second shield or do an insane amount of damage. I have already hit the Rock Tomb, so even though the payback lands, not enough to take out. Stunfisk does come in. Unfortunately, with Rock Tomb being resisted, you have to go for a non-stab Brutal Swing. And as you're going to see here, non-stab Brutal Swing, not the best. So I'm just going to go straight into my Sucker Punch user, just knowing that Shadow Claw Brutal Swing just not really going to cut it. I'd rather just have the Sucker Punch doing just as much damage and then getting actually to a Shadow Ball, which will really chip. Unfortunately, this Stunfisk is known for its spamminess, and here comes another Mud Bomb. Gonna farm up a little bit, but really want to get this out of here. So here comes the Shadow Ball. They do shield, but do give up switch at the same time. Crustle comes in. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's 12 or 13. I thought they would potentially be at a Rock Wrecker, so I shielded. That's the reason I shielded. Getting to 2 Aqua Tails here, so I could take 1 to take out, and then 1 to have for a Pokemon coming in, especially if it is that Stunfisk. And they are taking their time. I think they're trying to like burn the switch clock and then maybe try and make a catch, but that does not happen. Get the Aqua Tail off. That's super effective. This will take out. And Corviknight comes in and does get off an Air Cutter here, but Air Cutter is not a good move, and even against the Shadow Gyarados, not enough to take out. Allow me to get to the Aqua Tail, take this out here. Stunfisk. another terrible lead. So 3 bad leads in a row. We both instant swap, and unfortunately that instant swap is met directly with an instant swap. I don't know why they were instant swapping as an electric Pokemon, but that instant swap met immediately with a Pharaoh, and my Shadow Claw is resisted, and they're going to outspam me here. So I do shield up the first one, just knowing that if I can shield up the first one, lower the attack, I'll live the next move, and then I'll get to my charge move. So I can potentially grab a second shield here, or hopefully flip switch. But if I remember, they do end up burning a second shield here. I don't think it's worth trying to go for the third. I should be throwing Brutal Swing. Oh, and they snipe here with the Bombsnow. So coming in Gyarados. Only coming in Gyarados because like Gyarados is essentially useless against, not useless because it could have Aqua Tail, but it's not going to be strong against Stunfisk. And speaking about not strong, geez, the lack of bulk on this thing is definitely showing up here. The Bombsnow did chip me a ton. Coming in here, it's a non-shadow Bombsnow, so I probably take this move. Just trying to get a little bit ahead on energy here. So hopefully come out with a move. They're down shields, but damage is really adding up there. The Stunfisk does come in, and this thing is just very spammy. So even with the Shadow Ball landing, they get out into the Pharaoh, where they're at another move. I'm going to have to shield, but then I'm not going to get to a charge move. And if I do get to a charge move, which not even close, Pharaoh obviously spamming at 10s there makes it a difficult Pokemon to go against if you can't match its spamminess, or you don't have bulk to live with it. Piloswine, good lead. You know, they do have the Powder Stone stuff, but the Aqua Tails are coming at 999, and it's super effective because they're half ground. So they're going to burn that first shield. I will match. And they threw an Avalanche, which means it's probably, not probably, it is definitely more energy than it will be for my Aqua Tail, which means I can just shield this up and know I can get to the third Aqua Tail. You know, is it worth it? Should I not just take advantage on Spiritomb? Maybe Sucker Punch, get ahead on energy? Maybe. But take and switch with a little bit of energy coming out of this is not the worst case scenario either. And they are really debating what they want to do here. And it is a Lantern. So I saw the electric and I instant swapped to my safe swap. But the electric is also half water and it is running Water Gun. So kind of worst case scenario for my Runerigus. The electric would have been resisted, but they're running Water Gun, which is super effective. So I do get to a Rock Tomb, which will chip a little bit, not a lot, but you know what? It does lower the attack. And now I get my Spiritomb in. And because I had the one Sucker Punch advantage, that's all I need. Because I get 16 versus 15, but with the Sucker Punch advantage, it's 14 versus 15, meaning I'm going to get to the Rock Tomb. That'll one-shot. Out comes the Lantern. They're going to need to throw, or else I'm going to get to a move. Feels slow. 16 and 14 feels slow on Spiritomb, but Sucker Punch is a good move, so can't fault it for being a little too slow, or else this thing would feel very, very strong. But Aqua Tail will take out what is left here of the Lantern. Gyarados into Talonflame. So finally a good lead. They are going to get out into a Bombsnow. It is a Powder Snow Bombsnow. Get to a Crunch. Because I really don't know what the best answer. I guess Spiritomb is the best answer. So they do shield. That's exactly where I'm going to go. I know I can take one move for sure. But, you know, I let them get to a move. They're spamming at 5-4. They're at a second move for sure already. I'm going to have to shield. I can get to a move. And I'm probably going to have to throw it as I get to a third move. So I would not be surprised if I throw pretty quick here. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Just going to take this out. Or grab this shield and lower its attack at the same time. They do let me take it out. Talonflame may come in. I basically have 3 answers for Talonflame. I have a Rock Tomb user here, and then I have a Water Pokemon in the front, and another Rock Tomb user in the back. So this will grab a shield or take out. They tried to farm down. You know, they have a ton of energy. They're at 80, so it's going to do a lot of damage. Am I just sacrificing here? I may sacrifice here. And the sacrifice comes at a flame charge, so Maybe now I shield because I'm almost out of move and they just going to dump their energy. The Flame Charge again. Maybe they're running Flame Charge Brave Bird. Allow me to overfarm a bit is Credilli. So I'm going to probably double Aqua Tail or throw one and then get out knowing that it is just in Rock Tomb range. I can take one move. Poison is very resisted on the ghost ground, so obviously that is not doing much. Going just for the brutal swing, hoping that these claws have added up enough. They have not, so I will have to throw a second brutal swing, but spammy enough going 10 and 8 there that I'm able to take this out. Out comes the Talonflame. They're going to have to throw, so I'm going to get to a move here. That brutal swing bait move, not hard hitting, but it is a bait. It comes out quick. Very helpful. Another flying fire. This time it is Charizard. And out comes the Zweilous. So you are seeing the hesitation because I have nowhere to go here. Aqua Tail, Crunch resisted on the Dragon. Sucker Punch, Shadow Ball resisted here. I came in Runerigus where Brutal Swing and Shadow Claw resisted. Now I'm shielding up. I did catch, or maybe they just like missed, like threw a little delayed Body Slam, so I got one catch there, which is good. Do get the Rock Tomb off, which is good because I do not have a great answer for that. Charizard does come in. If it one-shots me, so be it. I have a bunch of energy on Gyarados because I had nowhere to throw it. Gonna let the switch clock burn out a little bit here. And out comes an Altaria. So again, Sucker Punch, nice. Slow to the Rock Tomb. Really want to get to this Rock Tomb towards attack. Can I take a charge move? Yep. I think Gyarados is my win con, especially with some energy. So just going to Rock Tomb this and probably sacrifice this Pokemon. And if I remember, they do throw as I'm getting to the move, so they kind of have to throw, which is great, which means they're going to be not a ton of energy here. So I try to just instant crunch to be caught on by Charizard. So it will still take them down, but it's a lot more energy than I would like. But then the Dragon Breath is adding up so much here that I can just go Aqua Tail. That even if they let this go, I could just Dragon Breath down. So they do shield, knowing that they're not going to outpace me here. Just go for the crunch, even though Aqua Tail would be enough. But I can comfortably make the crunch here. Okay, Skarmory, another steal. This one with Wing Attack? No, not Wing Attack. Air Slash? What's a fast move on Skarmory? Who uses a Skarmory when there's a Corviknight available? Skarmory has access to Air Slash. That makes sense. I was about to say, can you imagine it with Wing Attack? But Wing Attack got nerfed in previous seasons. So Air Slash, not a good move. And obviously Steel Wing got nerfed, so neither of them are great moves on Skarmory. Clodsire in here against Spiritomb. I'm half Ghost, so it is, the poison is a little bit resisted, but Runerigus would have had a way better matchup here. And I'm still not even just coming in there. What am I doing? Oh, because I said, right, I had the Skarmory lead, so I safe swapped. And I'll probably just get out of here immediately again. And met with a Quagsire. And this is kind of annoying because the Rock Tomb, which is the harder hitting move, is resisted. So you just have to go for the brutal swings and just try to spam your way through this matchup. And luckily I can. So getting to the second brutal swing, whether this lands or not, both are great scenarios. So they are not wanting to burn that last shield yet. But that now just puts them in Shadow Claw range. So they got to throw this move or else I'm going to take them out here. And they do with 1 HP, which means they're going to be dry, which means it's now just a race to Aqua Tail versus a race to the charge move. And I can imagine that with Air Slash, you're not going to outpace a Dragon Breath Aqua Tail Gyarados. So here goes my first charge move. This will grab the shield. They will grab a shield right back, which is okay. I'm almost at my second move. So there's the Aqua Tail. Gyarados putting a lot of pressure on Pokemon here. So a lot of people also mentioned they saw a lot of Talonflames. I saw in the Discord A lot of people commenting that they saw a lot of Talonflames today. It's not a bad answer. Quagsire gets out. Togekiss. Um, again, I was just way too slow. My initial thought was like, okay, Spiritomb's resisted because it's dark, so I can't go there. I can just chip this and then maybe just go Shadow Claw down, which I will be able to do here. But I'll have to probably shield now because I'm going to shield one. Just because I know why I'm shielding the first one is because I don't know if it's Psyshock or Dazzling Gleam. They're not going to throw Aura Sphere because that's resisted as a fighting move. So they're going to just throw the other move. And they had enough energy for Dazzling Gleam. So you don't know if Dazzling Gleam would chip a ton. If you're going to have to shield one, might as well see if it's the first one that you're going to shield to make it worth it. So just going to try and spam all these Brutal Swings. They are letting it go, which makes me worried that they also have an answer for Gyarados in the back if they're clearly just fine sacrificing Quagsire here. And that's exactly what they're going to do. They're just going to take a 2v1 shield in the back here, and we'll see what's in the back right now. It is a Scizor, and that is a good Pokemon to take a 2v1 shield advantage with. As long as I don't have a fire. If I have a fire, it's game over. I think because I have a Gyarados lead, this is a pretty good read by my opponent, knowing that I will not have a second flyer in the back like a Talonflame or Charizard, because I already am very weak on the front to Dedenne. So to have to be ABA weak like that is just probably not smart. They do Trailblaze me. They already had so much energy, so I didn't want to show the first one, but now the boosted attack is just going to take me down. So my opponent is just kind of recognizing, not if I don't have fire, Scizor is going to be able to do pretty well with the shield advantage, and then having that little bit of energy advantage does not help. Again, I come Spiritomb. Oh yeah, this is why I'm coming Spiritomb. Yes, Acid is more resisted on Runerigus, but Grass Knot would be super effective. So I had to come in with Spiritomb, where Poison is still resisted on the Ghost, but I do not have to take a super effective Grass Knot. Fortress does come in and is going to Bug Bite me down. I may still come Runerigus because I do not want to take not wanting to take a super effective Rock Tomb on Gyarados. I'd rather take it resisted here, in which I assume they almost threw blind, which they did. Getting to the charge move, trying to take this out here before I have to take any more real chip damage for no reason. And I do take him out, so I'm going to instant swap, reset that lowering of the attack. The Cordeli's still here, so I'm going to have to start spamming some Aqua Tails to try and get this out of here, while keeping the Pokemon alive pretty much at all costs, because what you do not want to do is go down to your last Pokemon when you are against Cordeli that can lower your attack. So if I let this Gyarados go down and then I come in with my, what's left, Runerigus or Spiritomb? Runerigus, and then they bait me, I'm essentially, not bait me. They bait me. I shield up anyways because I'm worried about the Grass Knot, and they just throw a Rock Tomb, and the Rock Tomb lowers my attack, and I can't reset that attack lowered. Just kind of puts you in a tough situation. So yes, now I can go down when they have like 2 HP left. Get to the Rock Tomb. Altaria is tanky, so we'll live this Rock Tomb. It's a non-stab Rock Tomb. But I think they just overfarm here, realizing that they need 2 moves anyways, and they don't have any energy on the Cordeli here. So they do live with 1 HP, which is crazy. I thought that for sure would have taken out. It does not. I do take it out, and they have 1 HP left, so I do take them out there. Altaria. This is why I'm choosing to run Gyarados, is because this matchup, I saw it the other direction this morning. You get outpaced to the Crunches, like Cruncha outpaces to the Sky Attacks, while also doing super effective Dragon Breath versus neutral Dragon Breath. Now, they are bulky enough they can live this. I don't really want to take a Sky Attack here, because then I probably do lose in the zeros. But in the ones here are going to take that. Cordeli comes in. So going to just stand here and chip. May let it go down. I assume I'll let it go down. Again, I have 2 Rock Tomb users in the back. They're going to have to throw. That's fine. I don't think there's a point of like shielding and then leaving and then locking myself. So I think I just let this go. Coming in Spiritomb. Again, just worried more about the Grass Knot on Runerigus, so I can take anything here. There's the Rock Tomb as expected. Going to throw the Rock Tomb here. Hoping it's enough to take out, but they did lower my attack, so probably not. 1 HP, and they do get to another move, which is brutal. And do take me out. So now must run with RUNERIGUS here, and they come in Fortress. So don't want to get locked on a Pokemon that can lower your attack. This thing has Rock Tomb. Rock Tomb is resistant on ground. And they give up Switch. So I'm going to just get this Altaria out of here so I don't have to take any move unnecessarily. And really hoping that I can get off a Rock Tomb before they get to a move, which they're not going to. I assume it is going to be a Rock Tomb, which is fine. I know it's resisted, but I know the bug bites are adding up a little bit. It is, I think, resisted on Ghost. So Rock Tomb does land, and the only problem against for them is I get to these moves in 14 and 12, and it takes like what, 17, 18, 19 to get to the moves on Fortress, which means I take it down there. So that is it. Yeah, Shadow Dragon Breath Gyarados, very, very strong Pokemon. I like RUNERIGUS. Don't love Brutal Swing, but it's a nice bait move to have, just quick because of the Rock Tomb. Spiritomb, I understand its strength, just you guys know me if you've watched this channel long enough. I like those Pokemon that spam in like 10 and 12, so once we're getting to 16 here, don't love it. But it is pretty still strong. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. I hate League Turnover because I always for sure need to do 2 at night. Well, needing to do the battles from like 4 to 6. And tonight the Jays are in game 3, so I'm going to be up late watching that anyway, so we'll see how it goes. Anyways, that is it. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.